Hey there, it is day 4 of our 30-day drawing challenge. So for those of you who are just jumping on board, you have missed the last 3 days, so you can still see those videos online. And yesterday we did mountains. The day before that we did raindrops. And the day before that we did clouds. So you see a theme here. We've got some sky, water, mountains, some land, and now fire. Whose idea was it to draw fire? I don't know. Maybe it was mine, but it occurred to me when I got started that I didn't know how to draw fire. So I had to look up some pictures. I also thought how nice this one would be if we add some color. So in the end, we'll go over some how to color techniques. And if you're somebody who doesn't have any paper handy, I thought this could be a nice example or an alternative in case you don't have any blank paper. It also kind of looks cool with a background that is just some old newspaper. So find some paper and a pencil and let's get started. The first thing we're going to need to do is to get a blank sheet of paper out. And when you do this, I am looking at here how I kind of made an arc at the bottom. I was thinking that this is like the sun. So down at the bottom here, you can see there's a very, very faint line. So I take my pencil, and I'm going to move up so you can see. I take my pencil and I hold it way down here, and I just make a motion like this. So let me show you what I'm doing with my hand. I'm going like this. And I'm actually drawing with the side of the pencil. So let's get back here, and I'm going to come down very low on the paper and try to get that rainbow arc-ish. So it's just the edge of the sun. Really light, because I'm probably not going to want to have that strong sun line there. Now, I'm going to take my hand and I'm spreading out my fingers like this. So this way I can make these sun rays have direction that doesn't all go straight. They're going to spread. So I'm going to put lines following my fingers going in those directions. So you see how it's the sunbeams going that way? But these are flames. So I'm going to turn them into like an S curve. So an S curve's like this. So I'm going to make a real slight S. And then I'm going to come down, and I think of it as like a blade of grass or a tall leaf of some kind of plant. Now this one, these are going to be the tallest ones on the whole picture. So remember, it's going to be like an S curve. And then I'm going to mimic it on this side, but get wider at the bottom. Now, I can add another one in here because this one's really far away. Or I could just start over on that one and then add one in between it. Or two in between it. Or I can keep adding ones in between. The more you add, the more work you make for yourself. I learned that the hard way, as you can see on this one. And then wait till you see this one. So you decide on how much time you want to put into this picture by how many flames you put in. So if you don't have a lot of time, don't draw a lot of flames. All right, so I'm going to put one in right here. I'm going to make this one point that way. So make my S go backwards. And then I'm going to make a small one. And I'll let that one run off the page. All right, let's go to this side of the paper. I don't think I've made too many so far. This one actually looks like it's under much more control than my last fire. There are not a lot of how-to videos on how to draw fire out there. So, in case you want to look for them, good luck. All right, this part looks empty. How about I make one flame shoot out a little further than all the rest of them? And I'll make that one go like behind that one. All right, so like I said, I don't want to make too much work for myself. Now I'm going to treat every flame exactly the same. So it's kind of like when we did the mountains yesterday. You treat each mountain the same, but you just take it one at a time. So on the outside edge of the flame, I'm going to make it darker than the rest. So I'm going to come to the top of the flame and I'm just going to color gently. I'm not going to press hard. I don't want this pencil to be so dark that it looks shiny. I'm just going to kind of color till it's dark. I'll go down the side with some darkness and that's it. Now, if you want your flames to look jagged, you can scribble outside the lines a little bit and that'll make that flame just to look a little bit more uncontrolled. But if you like the controlled look, then you're just going to color real gently till it gets darker and darker, and then slide down the sides with some shadow too. All right, now this is how you treat each flame, but that's not the last step. So if you have a blender, you can use this to smear it in, but if you don't have a blender, you can always just use your finger. So I'm going to take my finger and I'm going to smear it in. Sometimes I prefer my finger over the blender because the blender only concentrates in little spots. But what I also like to have is a paper towel that I can fold up and then have that nice hard corner. And watch this. I can make it look like this is giving off some smoke. Isn't that cool? Now, you're going to continue doing this all the way across until you feel like you've had enough for the day, because when something becomes too long to do and you get bored of it, it's no longer fun. So this should stay fun. So don't make too many flames for yourself to get bored over. But I want to share with you how to add some color to your picture. So you can continue with this one, or if you've got some color pencils handy, then you can try this one out. So for this picture here, you can see how I was trying to stylize my flames. When you look online at the different types of graphics out there, people use flames for logos, for businesses, for tattoos, for all sorts of things. You could even find cartoon-like flames. So you can really design flames how you want. A single flame on a candle might look like that teardrop shape. But when you have a larger fire, the flames are much more uncontrolled. So I was kind of playing around here with having lots of different colors going through each other. But this one here was more like a cartoon where I have like layers, and I was being very particular about it. So it's going to be your style on how you color this. But I want to show you some of the techniques that I used. So I have orange, red, and yellow color pencil. And then I found a blue. This was the only blue I could find. So see what you can come up with. And then we're going to start with red. So you're going to take your red color pencil and let's pick a flame to start with. I'll do this one over here because it's not done. You can see how I was coloring this part dark. I'm going to take my red color pencil, and everywhere that I would have made dark with my regular pencil, I'm going to just use red to do those parts. All right, so I slid down around the sides with the red. I'm going to go over here to this one. And wherever I would make darkness with that color, that regular pencil, I'm going to add red. Now let's switch off of the red. You can see over here I was working on this one too. Let me just go back over there. All right, so now we've got the red going. I'm going to switch over to some orange. And I'm going to slide down the sides with the orange, leaving the center open. Okay, some orange over here. And I still think that the gray looks great for your smoke, so I wouldn't do anything with color pencil. Now I'm going to go to the yellow. You're going to use a ton of yellow. Fire has a lot of yellow in it. So when I looked at real photos of fire, I noticed that yellow and even the cinders could stay white. So I'm going to add my yellow there, and I'm going to even leave that center white. You don't have to. And then beyond that, I added blue that just kind of halos around the edges of a few flames. You don't always see the blue in flames, but sometimes when you look at it long enough, you do notice there is a blue halo to things. Now, what I went back and did on this one was I was loose with the color pencil, and I went back and I added some of these like stray, scratchy lines over it to kind of make the fire look like it had less control. I'm going to go back and add some red, and then go back and add yellow. And I feel like this side has more of an extreme fire look to it. But when I look over on this side, you can see I was being really nice and careful with my reds, outlining things and kind of like staying in the lines. So everybody's got their own style. So if you've got a style and a way that you start yours and you want to keep going with that, then do it your way. You don't necessarily have to do it my way at all. So this is more of an imagination drawing anyhow. So, we weren't looking at real fire to get this picture going. We were just kind of, letting it happen as it goes along. So one of the best parts about art is that your imagination can kind of interpret it your way. So don't be so, structured about it looking like my picture. Let it be your picture. I always have to recommend that it's better that it be yours than look like mine. Good luck with your fire. And like I said, if you want to just keep it in pencil is just fine. It is up to you on how far you want to go with it.